you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be doing a makeup tutorial, obviously, and this makeup tutorial was something that I was inspired by. I believe I saw this picture on Instagram, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna pull up the photo of the girl because I just screenshotted it, and that's actually okay. Yeah, this girl's name is Cherrylicious, and this was the photo that I was inspired by. And oh my gosh, is that not gorgeous? Like, I was just really focused on the eye. Like, the eye was just so perfect. I love how she did that maroon and the ombre onto the black and then the gold liner. So that is what I decided to do. I took my own little spin. So instead of doing the maroon, I really wanted to play with the Subculture palette because yes, these eyeshadows aren't very good for blending in the crease, but these eyeshadows are so pigmented. They're amazing for applying all over the lid. So my palette is extremely messy, but I decided to use Axis. It's this really pretty like darker green, but it has some blue, like blue teal undertones. So I decided to play with that, and then I'll play with this palette again tomorrow. As I mentioned, you guys, this palette is not very good for blending, but for packing all over the lid for a nice opaque matte like eyeshadow color, it's going to be really, really nice for that. So that's what I decided to pull out this palette. And then for my blending and crease colors, I decided to pull out the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette because I love this palette. This palette was such a come up from the Subculture palette because that palette was so subpar as far as blending capabilities, and this palette was a lot better. And I met one of my subscribers that lives right here in town, and she said that she got this palette for Christmas. So I wanted to do another look that you could do using this palette. You can, of course, swap out the Axis color and you can put Throne because they're very similar, except Throne is a shimmer and Axis is a matte. So if you don't have the Subculture palette, or you don't like the Subculture palette but you did buy this palette, you can just swap out Throne and still be able to use Throne and Obsidian and all the other shades that I use in the crease and everything like that. But yes, this eye look is inspired by Cherrylicious. I saw a comment on yesterday's video about me being a copycat, and I just want y'all to know that I always reference my inspiration on looks. I have a ton of screenshots, and I will always show you guys the picture of what I was inspired by, as well as the names, so you guys can follow those people on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever they may have, all their social sites or whatever I can find. But I am not a copycat. I am not a copycat. I come up with things myself, or I am inspired by people, but I will always let you guys know. And if I see that, like, I'm gonna just come for your head. Like, I try to be a very positive and upbeat person, but when you come at me and my artistry and my livelihood and call me a copycat because I do a black smoky eye, it's just like, okay, so you want me to call you a name, right? Like, let's just not do that, you guys. I know my subscribers, we don't do that, and y'all know me, but those people that are the newcomers, like, I'm not a biter, I'm not a copycat. That's just not me, that's not my skilo, and if you call me that, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have some beef in the comment section. But anyways, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Bye, guys. Alright, so of course I'm priming my lids, and I'm using my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NC45, and I am using a large fluffy concealer brush to blend that all over my eye. And then I'm going to go ahead and set that with a large fluff brush from Sigma and a translucent setting powder from Makeup Forever, and just set that so that way my eyeshadows blend a lot easier. First shade we're going to go in with is Saturn from the Prism palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm using a Pretty Bar. This is like a large fluffy brush, very similar to the E40 by Sigma. It is one of my all-time favorite blending brushes. And then I'm going to apply some tape. As you can see, I've started applying some brown first, but I really wanted to apply tape on the outer edge from the corner of my eye to the tail of my eyebrow to create a really sharp edge with that black wing. So now I'm taking the shade Parallel out of Prism palette as well, and taking just one of the Anastasia Beverly Hills brushes that comes out of the palette. I like to use a small fluffy brush because it's a little more smaller, so I can get into the crease really well. So I'm applying that into the crease, and then I take an E45 blending brush from Sigma in the shade Obsidian out of the Prism palette, and I just mainly put this right on the socket of the crease just to add a little bit of definition. And then here I am just applying a little bit more Parallel just to help blend that out and buff that out, but pretty much all of this will will be covered up because now I'm cutting the crease with some of the remaining Prolonger concealer and a Sigma E15 flat definer brush. This is my favorite brush to carve out underneath of my brows and to do cut creases, but Sigma does have a cut crease brush if you would like to invest in that, but this brush does me really well. So now I cut the crease, and then I'm going to take the shade Axis out of the Subculture palette, and I'm just using a Morphe brushes. This is just a synthetic goat-haired, or actually I think it's a goat-haired brush. It's just a small packing brush, and I'm packing that color all over the lid. This is very pigmented. And then I'm going to take Obsidian on the other end of the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow brush and just apply that out into the outer tail. And as you can see, I'm leaving a slither of skin above the green and the black, so that way that's where I'm going to place the gold liner. So now I'm just packing over the black with more of Axis, and I just go back and forth between the two just to blend those two together. And now I'm taking a NYX Glam Liner. This is in the shade 24 Karat. I love this glitter liner. It is so stunning, and I botched this on camera. I do really well off camera, but on camera I just, yeah, I had issues. So I just draw that line right over the top to add a little sparkle and a little bit of something different. I place my elbow down on the table just to have a steady surface, but of course I applied some mascara and some eye kohl pencil. This is actually the Tarteist mascara. It's the lash paint mascara, and I'm obsessed with it, you guys. So moving on to the face, I'm going to start by priming my skin, and I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. This is one of my favorite pore minimizing primers. I have an entire video on top 5 pore minimizing primers if you guys want to see that. I have it in a playlist if you guys want to check that out. And for foundation, I start off with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation in the shade 177, and then the Ultra HD Liquid Foundation in 177. This is 177, and the stick foundation is 178. As you can see, there is a really big shade jump from 177 to 178, so I have to mix the two of them together because 178 is way too red orange and 177 is way too golden yellow. So for that, I just blend the two together, and then here I am using some Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. It's one of my favorite concealers. It is full coverage, it is matte finish, and it is just so full coverage. That is pretty much why I love it so much. And now I am setting my under eye with the Sacha Buttercup setting powder, and I'm just setting that with the Beauty Blender. I like to press it into the skin in all of the areas where I don't bake, which where I bake is down the bridge of the nose and up the side of the nose, but everywhere else I just press it into the skin with the Beauty Blender. And then now I'm using a Makeup Geek contouring pan. This is in the shade Deal Breaker. It is the warm / deep shade. They also have a warm / cool shade, which I'll use sometimes, but I prefer the warmer shade, you know. And then for blush, I am using a NYX HD blush, and this is in the shade Bronzed. So stunning. I'm using a Pretty Bar blush brush, and then I'm going to contour down the side of my nose, and for that I'm using a Sigma E39 Buff and Blend eyeshadow brush, and I'm using the same Makeup Geek contouring pan that I used on my cheekbones. So for highlighter, I decided to bust out my Laura Geller Gilded Honey. I haven't used this in quite some time. And for the tip and the bridge of my nose, I use a pencil brush. And then for the cheekbones, I decided to use this, this is like a large fluff brush from Morphe. I got it out of the iCredible brush set. So I don't know if you can buy this brush single, but I do know they have like single highlighter brushes that a lot of people love and rave about, but I personally never tried. So this step right here, I am using the same 24 Karat Glam Aqua Luxe liner and just applying a line straight across the lash line right above my lashes. And if I can give you guys a pointer, do not apply your mascara first like I did, because the gold is just going to get on top of your lashes. So apply mascara after you're done. So I'm using that same L'Oreal Silk Issumi liner on the waterline. And then I'm going to take Obsidian again and just smudge that on the lower lash line all the way from the inner corner to the outer corner. And then take Parallel again and just use that on an E30 pencil brush from Sigma and smoke that black out. And then after that I went right back in with more Obsidian just to really, really make that black pop. So for the inner corner, I decided to use Pyramid, and I use a E21 brush, I believe. It's like a small smudge brush. And I just applied just the tiniest bit of Pyramid just for a nice pop in the inner corner, nothing too much. And then for the lips, I am starting out with NYX's lip liner. This is in the shade Downtown Beauty. No brainer there. You guys should have seen this coming from a long run. And then I am using Dose of Colors liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Sand. It is super nude, so I just blend that all over my lips. And then for the gloss, I decided to use Dose of Colors Katie / Desi Perkins collaboration, and this is in the shade Over the Top. It is like a clear gloss, but it's got some gold reflects in the gloss. So after that wraps up my video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was different and not a lot of people will love it, but I still hope you guys enjoyed watching it nonetheless. I love you all, and I'll see you guys soon. Mwah. Bye.